first thing that we're gonna talk about is legal, right? So I heard somebody mention AK. You just mentioned that you just 2 years ago you became a legal company. 3. So a lot of things we get this question all the time, like, all right, where do we go to, get an LLC or to trademark, and like, what is all that stuff, right? So high level, if you're just starting out as a brand, even if you have partners, like we started out and it was 2 of us and then it quickly became 3, right? We still operated as an LLC, right? We had an owner's agreement that we had a lawyer draw up for us, but secretary-of-state.ga.gov, that's where you're able to go to get your licensing. You don't need to go through LegalZoom, even though that's something that is offered a lot. You're going to pay a lot of money to have somebody do something that you could really do yourself, right? And then it's probably going to cost you maybe like $100, $125 to get your license. Now, after that, and we'll kind of talk about this some more, like when we start getting into like the branding portion, but trademarks, right? So people are always asking like, do I copyright something? Do I trademark it? What do we do with that? If I'm correct, which I think I am, copyright is going to be dealing with anything that's written, right? When you start talking about images, that's also then coupled with text, or if it's just text, but it's unique text, right? So for example, we have both the grad cap as well as the name honor roll trademarked, right? So doesn't mean that no one can't use the word honor roll, right? But what it does mean is that no one can use it like this. And in this particular category, which for us is anything dealing with fashion, right? Anyone who wants to use this grad cap, they would have to come through us. Or if someone said like, hey, we want to say how it was like, I think I want to use a grad cap, but it's going to be a little bit different than honor rolls. Like, you have to be able to prove that in court, because if we feel like you're infringing upon it, we will sue you, right? As you should anyone else who infringes upon your logos, right? So this is going to be, again, Secretary of State is going to be where you register your company. USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office. This is going to be where you're going to go to get your actual trademark. Now, that process isn't as quick as becoming a legal company. This is going to take you about like a year and a half. And how much did we spend? I think we spent like $1,200 over the course of that period of time. So like, you don't have to pay it all up front. Like, you initially submit your logo, your typeface, and then it goes through a review process. Once it gets out of that review process, you have the permission to use it like publicly, and you can say that it's trademarked. And there's like a 6 month or a year time span that they go through, so anyone could kind of come and contest it, right? And so that's the space to where if I made something that looked like a Coca-Cola logo, Coke would come and say, hey, nah, you can't do that. That's what that period of time is for. Last thing, just get a good lawyer, specifically in dealing with contracts, right? So for us, that's huge because we're dealing with corporate partners, right? But then also, like, we're dealing with people who are independent and providing services for us, and you want to make sure that it's very clear on what you're paying them and what you're getting back, right? And everyone always gets amnesia when there's a disagreement, right? Whenever there's like, oh, well, you said this and I was supposed to do that, where's it at on paper, right? So, and the best way to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your brand, as well as you're being mindful of the people that you're doing business with, take your time on developing your logo. And also understand too that your logo is probably going to change. Again, just using them as an example, Coke has changed their logo many a times. I can't remember the IG handle, but there's a page on IG that's dedicated just to logos and how logos transform over the decades. So get to a comfortable place where you're like, hey, this reflects my brand and my identity. But then, go. You know, because you'll sit there and tinker with things and nothing will ever get done. For example, there's nothing really sexy about Perry Ellis's logo. It's Perry Ellis. So like if it's just that, it's that. And two, like get multiple trademarks. You know, we have a couple, you know, because there's the icon of the grad cap and then there's the overall logo of Honor Roll that consists of the grad cap as well as the typeface.